Hello, welcome back. We have lately had some ups and downs in the stock market, beginning to stabilize a little bit, it's looking like. But Alibaba is having some upwards moves, and you will see here if we take a look at the 1 week chart. So the company stock price was about 104, 100 actually in the lows of the day, of that day, back a week ago, and right now it's sitting at 112, and it's going to open up at about 115 when the market in the US opens in about 20 minutes or so from the time I'm making this video. It looks like Alibaba is having a very quick 10% increase in terms of its stock price. And I'm wondering what happened. We kind of want to examine whether there is something in the news. Now, the social trends you will see here, Alibaba is still being talked about quite a lot here. Sentiment seems to be shifting a little bit slowly. Now, overall here in stock tweets, it seems to be a little bit more positive right now, more positive comments, more bullish comments. But overall, you'll see that impressions keep piling up, again, both on stock tweets and Twitter here. That's a good sign, generally speaking, especially when the sentiment slowly becomes green. So we'll see how that continues during the rest of the days, basically. But I do want to see, of course, let's take a look at the stock news here. Now, you will see that Alibaba, NIO, all these Chinese peers are talked about a lot, and NIO has also gotten some fine increase lately, even though it's, as we have examined, still overvalued. But I wanted to check some news because nothing substantial really has happened, and you are still looking at Alibaba going higher. That's generally speaking a positive sign because it implies that we are slowly changing basically from a sort of like negative sentiment to a more bullish, more positive sentiment. And that means that we are potentially expecting to see even more positive moves ahead of us in the next few weeks or months, I suppose. But when you are looking at a company that is not really having any significant news, yet it still kind of starts creeping upwards after having, of course, a very negative period where it was going down, that could be a bullish sign. It could be maybe indicating a reversal. Now we will see, because in this current stock market, we could have some news about inflation and all sorts of different news that can bring this down even more. But I'm seeing that whenever there is some volume coming in without, like on neutral days, it does look like the stock wants to go higher. So we'll see whether that continues. But overall, you will see here that the shares of major US listed companies like Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent, JD have all been increased lately, with Alibaba getting a very nice share of the profits here. And you can kind of see all the other ones as well. At the press time, the benchmark Hang Seng index was trading at 1.4% higher, and we're expecting China to be moving higher in the next few months or so after having been demolished that much. Some macro factors here that are very interesting, though. Jerome Powell, the US Federal Reserve Chairman, said that rapidly rising interest rates threatened a recession. And Powell also told Congress that policymakers would move aggressively to fight inflation, but said the U.S. economy is well positioned to handle rate hikes. Is that the case? It does depend on how quick they are going to go and how deep they are going to go, but I do agree that they have to fight inflation. This is a very important point if we want to go back to growth. And we don't want to keep allowing inflation to be that high and prices increasing that much. So I do agree with that sentiment, and I do agree with this idea. Now, of course, this can cause some pain in the short run, obviously. Whether there will be a recession, now, typically in the papers, it could actually be a recession which comes after 2 negative GDP quarters. But even if that happens, I don't think we're going to be having a massive recession. Maybe we're gonna be having some down period, some period where the stocks are gonna be underperforming, and overall there's gonna be some issues in the markets. But the thing is, typically when you're looking at a typical recession, you're seeing a lot of unemployment. Like you're looking at people trying to work and not finding jobs. And right now it's actually the exact opposite. And it's a point that has been discussed by some of our people also in Discord, and it's a very valid point because it makes a ton of sense. It's mostly about people not wanting to work, and not about people not finding work. And so unemployment is still very low, and that matters a lot for inflation. Now, work hours matter a lot as well. We have talked about it in a separate video. You can actually take a look at this one where I have talked about signs of recession. It looks like we're sort of like in an average state right now. It doesn't really point to a big recession coming, but you never know what's going to happen. It has a lot to do with politics, as I've mentioned in the past. Okay, let's take a little bit of a look at another article, which I think is very, very interesting. We're hearing more from JP Morgan, actually doubling down now on Alibaba, JD, and other Chinese tech stocks. And remember that they have been talking about China being super, super bad to invest in. They were talking about serious risks in China and that China is uninvestable. And right now they have switched their tone. They're talking about Alibaba, JD, and all these companies being great opportunities right now. And you will see that investment bank JP Morgan sees an opportunity in these beaten down stocks, and we have talked about it again in the past. But you keep getting more news about all these sort of different people from managers pretty much. Like, for instance, take a look at this one. That the firm is actually optimistic on the tech sector amid the alleviation of the regulatory crackdown, which we have talked about. And Rebecca Young, who manages 3 China funds with about 20 billions of assets, she has said here that the worst is over and that JP Morgan has held onto most of its China tech holdings amid the sell-off. So that is weird, right? They actually kind of caused the part of the sell-off, yet they are still holding. And the optimism, according to the fund manager, is due to the fact that the sector provides critical value, and that's absolutely true. These values are extremely attractive at these current valuations, of course. So yeah, this is something that we have talked about in previous videos as well. These kinds of investment firms causing a sell-off and then kind of capitalizing on those, right? It kind of looks like it. Now, I'm not saying that they're doing it for profit, of course, but they have that effect on the market. And so, people who are actually cautious enough and smart enough to actually buy beforehand, they can reap the rewards basically already if you have bought near 80 or so. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing massive upside eventually to Alibaba and a lot of Chinese stocks. Now, it may take a while, of course. We don't know the exact time frame, but eventually I'm pretty sure this will happen. And if you are roaming around looking for news, you will see all tons of different articles switching their tune, really changing their tune, and talking about why Alibaba stock now looks set to soar, for example. While 3 months ago everybody was talking about Alibaba being a terrible opportunity and that people should dump it, it's horrible, and so they drove the price downwards. And right now it's an opportunity again that's looking to soar, and I totally agree with this one. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Again, this is JP Morgan being discussed. As you see, tons of articles mentioning all this sort of like bullish sentiment reversal right now. Thanks for watching this one. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. I'll keep you up to date with any other new news pieces that we actually discover in terms of Alibaba. But again, thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.